Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Now, imagine a world where your thoughts and actions are not your own, but rather controlled by an external force. This is not a nightmare, but a reality that was once funded and operated by the CIA, as this was the twisted reality of Mission MKUltra, and it sought to manipulate the human mind in ways that are both fascinating and terrifying. But what if I told you that this mission is not just a relic of the past, but that its legacy still lingers in our society today? In this video, we will explore the twisted history of this mission and the impact it had on those who were subjected to its experiments. But be warned, this is not a tale for the faint of heart. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. We aim to explore thought-provoking topics in a respectful manner and do not intend to breach any guidelines or cause harm to individuals. So, get ready to face your fears and uncover the truth. Let's dive into the abyss of government secrets. To begin, it's important to note that MKUltra was not the first government program to explore the potential of mind control. In fact, the program was preceded by several other projects, including the Bluebird Project and the Artichoke Project, which focused on the use of hypnosis and narco-hypnosis for mind control. However, this was unique in its scope and ambition. While earlier projects focused on specific methods or techniques aimed to be a comprehensive and far-reaching program of mind control research. The origins can be traced back to the early 1950s, when the CIA was looking for new ways to combat the Soviet threat. At the heart of this conflict was a battle for ideological and technological superiority, and the CIA was determined to gain an edge over the Soviet Union in any way possible. According to official CIA documents, the purpose of this program was to investigate the possibility of mind control through various means. The goal was to find ways to control behavior, induce amnesia, or create super spies who could withstand interrogation and resist manipulation. But how did MKUltra come to be? The program was established under the code name Project MKUltra by CIA Director Allen Dulles, who was looking for new ways to combat the Soviet threat. The project was overseen by the CIA's Scientific Intelligence Division, which was tasked with exploring the potential of mind control through various means. Mission received millions of dollars in funding over the course of its existence, making it one of the largest and most expensive CIA programs of its time. This funding was used to support a wide range of research projects, including studies on hypnosis, drugs, sensory deprivation, and other mind control techniques. But was not just a CIA project. Other government agencies and organizations such as the Army, Navy, and National Institute of Mental Health were also involved in the program. This broad involvement highlights the scope and ambition, which aimed to be a comprehensive and far-reaching program of mind control research. In addition to its government sponsors, the project also involved a wide range of private contractors and researchers. These individuals and organizations were tasked with conducting research on behalf of the CIA and other agencies, and were often given broad latitude to explore new and unconventional methods. One of the most notable aspects was its secrecy. The program was highly classified, and many of its details were hidden from public view for decades. It was only in the 1970s, when a series of Freedom of Information Act requests and investigations revealed the existence and scope of the program, that the public became aware of its activities. Despite its secrecy, it has left a lasting legacy in the world of government mind control. Many of the techniques and technologies developed under the program have been adapted and used in modern-day mind control and propaganda efforts, and the lessons learned from MKUltra continue to shape the way we think about the potential and risks of mind control. As we unravel the mysteries of MKUltra, a crucial realization emerges. For a mind-blowing exploration of the hidden families and leaders that wield immense influence over the world, a visit to our channel can spark a revolution in your perspective. Moreover, at the heart of MKUltra were a series of mind control methods and techniques designed to manipulate and control human behavior. These methods were developed and tested through a wide range of experiments, many of which involved unwitting subjects who were unaware they were part of a government program. One of the most notorious mind control methods used was hypnosis. According to CIA documents, hypnosis was seen as a powerful tool for controlling behavior and inducing amnesia. Researchers believed that by hypnotizing a subject, they could gain access to their subconscious mind and plant suggestions or commands that would influence their thoughts and actions. To test the potential of hypnosis, researchers conducted a wide range of experiments, many of which involved unwitting subjects. For example, in one experiment, a researcher hypnotized a subject and then asked them to perform various tasks, such as stabbing a doll with a needle or firing a gun. The subject carried out these tasks without question, even though they had no memory of being hypnotized or receiving the commands. In addition to hypnosis, researchers also experimented with a wide range of drugs, including LSD, barbiturates, and amphetamines. These drugs were used to induce altered states of consciousness, disrupt memory and perception, and lower inhibitions. LSD, or acid, was one of the most widely used drugs in MKUltra. Researchers believed that LSD could be used to create a model psychosis that would allow them to study the effects of mental illness and develop new treatments. However, many of the LSD experiments conducted were uncontrolled and unethical, and often involved unwitting subjects who were given the drug without their knowledge or consent. Sensory deprivation was another mind control method used. Researchers believed that by depriving a subject of sensory input, they could create a state of confusion and disorientation that would make them more susceptible to suggestion and manipulation. To test this theory, researchers conducted a wide range of sensory deprivation experiments, many of which involved subjects being confined to small, soundproof rooms for extended periods of time. These rooms were often equipped with goggles, earplugs, and gloves to further limit sensory input. The goal of these experiments was to create a state of sensory overload or underload that would disrupt the subject's cognitive processes and make them more susceptible to suggestion. However, many of the sensory deprivation experiments conducted under MKUltra were uncontrolled and unethical, and often involved unwitting subjects who were subjected to extreme levels of sensory deprivation without their knowledge or consent. Overall, the mind control methods used were varied and far-reaching, encompassing a wide range of techniques and technologies. While some of these methods, such as hypnosis and sensory deprivation, have been adapted and used in modern-day mind control and propaganda efforts, others, such as the use of drugs and unethical experimentation, are now widely regarded as unacceptable and illegal. The use of unwitting subjects in experiments was a widespread and often unethical practice. According to a 1977 Senate hearing on MKUltra, these experiments involved a wide range of unethical and illegal activities, including the use of unwitting subjects, the use of drugs and other substances without informed consent, and the use of hypnosis and other mind control techniques. One of the most notorious examples of the use of unwitting subjects in experiments was the testing of LSD on unsuspecting civilians. In the early 1950s, the CIA began a program called Operation Midnight Climax, in which they set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York City equipped with one-way mirrors and recording devices. CIA agents would then lure unsuspecting civilians, often prostitutes, to the safe houses, where they would be dosed with LSD and observed through the one-way mirrors. In another experiment, a CIA researcher named Sidney Gottlieb gave LSD to a civilian without their knowledge or consent, and then observed their behavior as they walked around New York City. The subject, a writer named Kerry Thornley, later recounted his experience in a series of articles and interviews, describing the intense hallucinations and paranoia he experienced as a result of the drug. Other experiments involved the use of unwitting subjects in sensory deprivation studies, in which they were confined to small, soundproof rooms for extended periods of time. These experiments often involved the use of goggles, earplugs, and gloves to further limit sensory input, creating a state of confusion and disorientation. One such experiment was conducted by a researcher named Donald O. Hebb, who confined a group of students to small, soundproof rooms for up to 48 hours at a time. The students were given no sensory input other than a flashing light and a low hum, and were not allowed to speak or move. The goal of the experiment was to study the effects of sensory deprivation on the human mind, but the ethical implications of the study were never fully addressed. The use of unwitting subjects in experiments raised a number of ethical concerns, including the violation of human rights, the lack of informed consent, and the potential for long-term harm. Many of the subjects of experiments suffered long-term psychological and physical harm as a result of their involvement in the program. Despite these concerns, the use of unwitting subjects in MKUltra experiments continued for decades, with researchers often going to great lengths to conceal the true nature of their experiments. In some cases, researchers used front organizations or fake medical studies to recruit unwitting subjects, further obscuring the true nature of their work. One such front organization was the Society for the Investigation of Human Ecology, a nonprofit research organization that was secretly funded by the CIA. The society conducted a wide range of experiments, many of which involved unwitting subjects, under the guise of legitimate scientific research. The CIA's notorious mind control program has long been a subject of intrigue and speculation. Over the years, numerous conspiracy theories have emerged surrounding the program, many of which have gained widespread attention and credibility. We will now examine some of the most prominent conspiracy theories surrounding MKUltra and explore the evidence supporting them. One of the most persistent conspiracy theories is the creation of Manchurian candidates, who could be controlled by the government. According to this theory, MKUltra was used to develop techniques for creating programmable assassins who could be activated at will to carry out assassinations or other covert operations. While this may sound like a plot straight out of a spy novel, there is evidence to support this theory. CIA documents released as part of the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, suggest that the agency was interested in the potential for mind control to be used in assassinations. For example, a 1954 memo from the CIA's Office of Security discussed the possibility of using hypnosis and drugs to create a hypnotically induced automatism, in which a subject could be programmed to carry out an assassination without any conscious awareness of their actions. One notable case often cited as evidence of the existence of Manchurian candidates is that of Sirhan, the man convicted of assassinating Robert F. Kennedy in 1968. Some experts have suggested that Sirhan may have been a Manchurian candidate who was programmed to carry out the assassination without conscious awareness. Sirhan himself has claimed to have no memory of the event, leading some to speculate that he may have been under the influence of mind control techniques. Another conspiracy theory surrounding MKUltra is the involvement of powerful government agencies, such as the CIA and the military, in the program. While it is well established that MKUltra was a CIA-funded program, there is evidence to suggest that other government agencies were also involved. For example, a 1977 Senate hearing revealed that the Department of Defense had conducted its own mind control research, which was closely tied to MKUltra. The secrecy has led to a proliferation of conspiracy theories, as the public is left to fill in the gaps with their own imaginations. However, there is evidence to suggest that this secrecy was intentional, as the CIA sought to avoid public scrutiny and accountability for its actions. In fact, the agency went to great lengths to destroy evidence related to MKUltra, including the destruction of most of the records related to the program in 1973. Despite the lack of transparency, there is evidence to suggest that the program had far-reaching implications, both in terms of the development of mind control techniques and the impact on public trust. For example, the experiments conducted as part involved the use of drugs, hypnosis, and other techniques to manipulate and control human behavior. These experiments often involved unwitting subjects, who were not informed of the nature of the experiments or their potential risks. The legacy of continues to be felt today, as the program has become a symbol of government secrecy and manipulation. The lack of transparency and accountability surrounding the program has fueled mistrust and suspicion, as many believe that the government is hiding something. Additionally, the use of mind control techniques in assassinations and other covert operations raises ethical concerns and has been widely criticized by experts in the field. While the conspiracy theories may seem far-fetched, there is evidence to support many of them. The involvement of powerful government agencies, the creation of programmable assassins, and the use of mind control techniques are all well-documented aspects of the program. While the full extent of MKUltra's activities may never be known, the evidence that does exist paints a troubling picture of government manipulation and secrecy. While the project is often the focus of discussions surrounding government mind control programs, it was not the first of its kind. The Bluebird project, initiated in 1949, was a precursor to MKUltra and laid the groundwork for the CIA's exploration of mind control techniques. The origins of the Bluebird project can be traced back to World War II, during which time the US government became interested in the potential of hypnosis and narco-hypnosis for interrogations and mind control. The Bluebird project was initiated by the CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence and was closely tied to the Army, Air Force, and Navy. The program was designed to explore the potential of hypnosis and narco-hypnosis for mind control, and to develop techniques for creating programmable assassins who could be activated at will to carry out assassinations or other covert operations. One notable aspect of the Bluebird project was the use of hypnosis to create a Manchurian candidate, a programmable assassin who could be activated at will to carry out assassinations or other covert operations. According to CIA documents, hypnosis was used to induce hypnotic states, condition subjects to respond to certain post-hypnotic suggestions, and create amnesia for events prior to and during hypnosis. The CIA also explored the use of drugs and other techniques to enhance the effects of hypnosis and to create more suggestible subjects. While the specific experiments conducted under the Bluebird project are not as well documented as those conducted under MKUltra, there is evidence to suggest that the program involved the testing of drugs on unwitting subjects. One notable example is the case of Dr. Ewan Cameron, a Scottish-born psychiatrist who conducted research on the use of drugs, electroshock therapy, and sensory deprivation for mind control. Cameron's research was funded in part by the CIA, and his experiments on unwitting subjects are believed to have been part of the Bluebird project. The Bluebird project and MKUltra were closely linked, as many of the researchers and techniques developed under the Bluebird project were later used in MKUltra. However, there were also notable differences between the two programs. MKUltra was broader in scope, exploring not only the potential of hypnosis and narco-hypnosis for mind control, but also the use of drugs, sensory deprivation, and other techniques. Additionally, MKUltra was larger in scale, involving hundreds of research projects and thousands of unwitting subjects. Despite the differences, both were part of a broader effort by the CIA and other government agencies to explore the potential of mind control for covert operations and intelligence gathering. The legacy of these programs can still be felt today, as the use of mind control techniques in assassinations and other covert operations continues to raise ethical concerns and fuel conspiracy theories. The Bluebird project may not be as well known as MKUltra, but it played a crucial role in the development of government mind control programs. The use of hypnosis to create a Manchurian candidate and the testing of drugs on unwitting subjects were notable aspects of the program, which built upon previous research conducted during World War II. While the specific experiments conducted under the Bluebird project are not as well documented as those conducted under MKUltra, the legacy of the program continues to be felt today, as the use of mind control techniques in covert operations raises ethical concerns and fuels conspiracy theories. And remember that our channel offers even more intriguing stories to uncover. Explore the dark world where each tale unveils a new layer of mystery and fascination. While MKUltra is the most well-known government mind control program, it was not the only one. During the same time period, the CIA and other government agencies conducted various other mind control programs, such as the Artichoke Project and Project Monarch. The Artichoke Project, initiated in 1951, was a CIA program that focused on the use of hypnosis, drugs, and other techniques to manipulate behavior. The program was closely tied to MKUltra, and many of the researchers and techniques developed under the Artichoke Project were later used in MKUltra. According to CIA documents, the Artichoke Project involved the use of drugs, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation to manipulate behavior and create programmable assassins. Project Monarch, on the other hand, is a conspiracy theory that has been widely debunked. The theory suggests that the CIA and other government agencies used mind control techniques to create a programmable army of assassins who were controlled by handlers. Despite the lack of evidence to support this theory, it has gained widespread attention and credibility in popular culture. Other government agencies and organizations, such as the Department of Defense and the Department of Justice, were also involved in mind control research during this time period. The Department of Defense, for example, conducted research on the use of drugs and other techniques to manipulate behavior in soldiers and intelligence agents. MKUltra, the Artichoke Project, and Project Monarch were all part of a broader effort by the CIA and other government agencies to explore the potential of mind control for covert operations and intelligence gathering. While the specific experiments conducted under these programs are not as well documented as those conducted under MKUltra, the legacy of these programs continues to be felt today, as the use of mind control techniques in covert operations raises ethical concerns and fuels conspiracy theories. Despite the secrecy surrounding these programs, there is evidence to suggest that they involve the use of drugs, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation to manipulate behavior. The involvement of various government agencies and organizations in these programs highlights the extent to which mind control research was a priority during this time period. While MKUltra is the most well-known government mind control program, it was not the only one. The Artichoke Project and Project Monarch, among others, were also active during this time period and contributed to the development of mind control techniques and technologies. While the specific experiments conducted under these programs are not as well documented as those conducted, while MKUltra was a highly secretive program, the experiences of its unwitting subjects have come to light in the years since its existence was revealed. Many of these individuals suffered long-term psychological and physical harm as a result of their involvement in the program. One notable example is the case of James Stanley, a serviceman who was unwittingly subjected to LSD testing during his time in the military. In a landmark legal case, Stanley sued the CIA for violating his constitutional rights and causing him long-term psychological damage. While the case ultimately did not result in compensation for Stanley, it did establish an important legal precedent for individuals who have been harmed by government experiments. Other victims have reported experiencing a range of symptoms, including paranoia, anxiety, depression, and memory loss, among other psychological and physical issues. In some cases, these symptoms have persisted for years, even decades, after their involvement in the program. In some instances, the harm caused by experiments has been so severe that it has resulted in permanent disability or even death. The legal and ethical implications of experiments are significant and far-reaching. The program violated basic human rights, including the right to informed consent and the right to personal autonomy. Many of the program's victims were unaware that they were participating in an experiment and were not given the opportunity to refuse or withdraw from the experiment. The lack of transparency and accountability surrounding MKUltra has also had a profound impact on public trust in government, fueling conspiracy theories and undermining public confidence in the government's ability to protect the rights and interests of its citizens. Despite these challenges, some victims have been able to seek justice and compensation for the harm they suffered. In 1988, Congress passed the Victims of Covert Governmental Actions Act, which established a process for victims to seek compensation from the government. However, the process has been criticized for its complexity and the high burden of proof required to establish a claim. In recent years, there have been renewed calls for greater transparency and accountability surrounding MKUltra. In 2018, a group of survivors and their families filed a lawsuit against the CIA and other government agencies, seeking the release of all remaining records and compensation for the harm they suffered. The lawsuit was dismissed in 2020, but the plaintiffs have vowed to appeal the decision. The legacy continues to be felt today, not only in the ongoing struggles of its victims to seek justice and compensation, but also in the broader implications for government accountability and transparency. The program serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked government power and the importance of protecting individual rights and freedoms. The victims have suffered long-term psychological and physical harm as a result of their involvement in the program. Medical records, witness testimony, and the experiences of survivors provide evidence of the harm caused by the program. The legal and ethical implications of experiments are significant, and the program's secrecy and lack of transparency have had a profound impact on public trust in government. Despite these challenges, some victims have been able to seek justice and compensation, and there are ongoing efforts to hold the government accountable for its actions. MKUltra may have officially ended in 1973, but its legacy continues to be felt today. The program's impact can be seen in popular culture and public consciousness, as well as in the techniques and technologies developed under that have been adapted and used in modern-day mind control and propaganda efforts. One of the most significant aspects of legacy is the ongoing debate about the ethics of scientific research and government programs. The program's abuse of human subjects and its lack of transparency and accountability have raised important questions about the need for oversight and regulation in scientific research and government programs. The use of human subjects in scientific research has become a highly regulated area, with strict guidelines and oversight mechanisms in place to protect the rights and welfare of research participants. The techniques and technologies developed under MKUltra have also been adapted and used in modern-day mind control and propaganda efforts. For example, the use of subliminal messaging, hypnosis, and psychological manipulation techniques has become increasingly prevalent in advertising, politics, and social media. While these techniques are not necessarily harmful in and of themselves, they do raise important ethical questions about the use of manipulation and deception in public discourse. The rise of deepfake technology and its potential to be used for propaganda and disinformation purposes is another example of how MKUltra's legacy continues to be relevant today. The legacy also highlights the importance of transparency and accountability in scientific research and government programs. The program's secrecy and lack of oversight led to abuses that could have been prevented with greater transparency and accountability. Today, there are calls for greater transparency in government programs and scientific research to prevent abuses like those committed under the project. For example, the use of open-source software and data in scientific research has become increasingly popular as it allows for greater transparency and reproducibility of research findings. In assessing the legacy, it is important to acknowledge the lessons learned from the program. The abuse of human subjects, the lack of oversight and regulation, and the secrecy and deception that characterize the program all serve as cautionary tales for future generations. The need for continued vigilance and oversight in scientific research and government programs is clear. The ongoing debate about the ethics of artificial intelligence and its potential to be used for mass surveillance and social control is a current example of the need for continued vigilance and oversight. The legacy of MKUltra is complex and far-reaching, with implications for popular culture, public consciousness, scientific research, and government programs. The program's techniques and technologies have been adapted and used in modern-day mind control and propaganda efforts, while its lack of transparency and accountability highlights the importance of oversight and regulation in scientific research and government programs. The lessons learned serve as a reminder of the need for continued vigilance and oversight to prevent abuses and ensure the protection of human rights and individual freedoms. In our exploration of Mission MKUltra, we've uncovered the secrets of how powerful people tried to control our minds using hypnosis and drugs. It's a scary world where our thoughts and actions can be influenced without us even knowing. But our journey doesn't stop here. Click on left video to dive into the hidden secrets of powerful people like J.P. Morgan, whose immense power once forced the American government to bend on its knees for help. On the right, delve into the unlocking the mysteries of the Illuminati, the mysterious group believed to be the masterminds behind significant global events. I will see you there. Till then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the truths that lie within. Bye.